welcome to another great episode. Very informative, I promise you. This is Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I am Kende Bodun.
All right, we'll kickstart today with our newspapers, and right after that will be our main conversation also for today. Do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can always find us. Reach us when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platform at Enterprise TV7. We're very so honored to have with us, joining us via Zoom from Lagos State, Nigeria, Dr. Victor Ohai, a development communicator and a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Doctor, and welcome to Enterprise Television today.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much for your time. So let's kickstart today, Kende.
So on the top strip on Vanguard, we have Ibom Air fracas. Airline operators lift live ban on MRC.
Yes, and also we have the big story, a special report, how modern life is rendering men infertile.
So still on the first top strip, we have NLC issues 7-day strike notice over pension NSITF funds.
And also we have a contradictory one to lots of Nigerians. They might agree, they might not agree. Economy now stable under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that's coming from Okonjo Iweala.
We also have Boko Haram, US OK's $346 million arms sale to Nigeria.
All right, Doctor, let's just start with the trendiest story from last week. Of course, it's still crisscrossing towards other weeks. Ibom Air fracas. Airline operators lift live ban on Emerson. Doctor, I would love to have your take. I know you would have had the opportunity of discussing this on other fora, but I would love to have your take on everything that happened between Ibom Air and the young lady.
Truth is, they didn't have a choice. They are not a court of. They are not a law court. They have no right to do what they did in the first place. So lifting it is a no-brainer. You know, what they did was illegal. You cannot put a live ban. Freedom of association, of movement, all that. You say, okay, you know, I mean, there's a need to hear from both sides. The Ibom Air people doctored the video and put it out there. The young lady was outnumbered, you know, until we started hearing the views from other co-passengers. And in any case, she was disembarking. You know, it wasn't like it was something that happened when she was about to embark on the flight. She comported herself throughout the flight very well. It was only a disembarking. And what I heard towards the end was that, you know, she was trying to, it was an iPhone, she was trying to do anything, was not responding. And I didn't believe her. As a user of iPhone myself, I know that that can happen. You know, your screen can freeze. And then they did what they did and just face saving right now. It's the same impunity that runs across every aspect of the Nigerian system or society.
Okay, so what should Nigeria introduce, or should Nigeria introduce stronger legal frameworks, you know, to protect both passengers and airlines in this?
The issue of framework, there's more than enough law in Nigeria. It's just the way it is executed. And you can see now that the government is the one in charge of the courts. The courts have no independence anymore, where the judiciary can be ordered to arrest a person and take them for trial. And the same executive arm of government can now say, okay, look, okay, you should not, and all that. And they just give order arbitrarily. It's not. So for me, I think what the aviation minister, the final thing he did was, okay, let there be more education, because where there is no law, there is no offense. What has happened, the Ibom people did not conduct themselves with civility either. So they should train all airline operators on how to deal with passengers in the best and most simple way possible. That's supposed to be part of their training. And then also create public enlightenment for passengers on how to conduct themselves when they are in planes and in public generally.
Very well, Doctor. But last on that particular story, the coveted ambassadorial position made possible by Keyamo, do you think it is worth it? Because lots of Nigerians would say, do we now permit unruly behavior and nuisance in our spaces?
I would have used a better word, advocate for good behavior, so that the stigma will still remain with them. Let them know what they have done, particularly Kwamwan. You know, make him an advocate for good behavior, not an ambassador. You know, that word should not be abused. He's not an ambassador. An ambassador is a representative.
Yes.
Who is he representing? Is he a representative of bad behavior? In fact, now that I've said it, I'm going to put it out on Twitter there. You should make an advocate for better behavior, for decent behavior, you know? So he should go out there and advocate for better behavior, for good behavior, not make it one ambassador. What? The next thing he'll go and start making music and call himself ambassador of one. They are crazy for titles.
Very, very true.
He already calls himself a king, King Wasi and Masha. The next is Ambassador Queen, so he will now be Aquam1.
It's actually very funny.
Very funny.
In PR, you know, one of the rule of thumb is understanding who an ambassador is and who is not. Ambassador is someone who appreciates a particular product or service and makes sure that he works with it in a better way, but we are reversing the meaning and the definition of that particular symbolic word. But Doctor, let's take a look at other matters. Economy now stable under President Bola Ahmed and Tinubu, and that's coming from Okonjo Iweala. Do you really think she meant what she was talking about there, or playing to the gallery?
She does not live with us. So she does not know what we are going through on the streets. You know. Secondly, her being in that position had the support and requires the support of government. She cannot fight government. So she has to speak right, because you cannot be in such a position without your government sponsoring or supporting your candidature. So to an extent, there are areas that may have been stabilized, but she was also clever enough to say, please, let the thing, in other words, I'm using my own words now, let it have a human face. So she said what she said to protect herself, but she also said what she said, which is what she should have said.
Okay. So do you think it's more of like an indirect talk or discussion having?
No, she has given government something to use for PR.
Okay.
They will quote her and say, you see, somebody like Okonjo has endorsed us.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So, but you know, who feels it knows it. Those that are wearing the shoe know the truth and what the rightful thing is. So, it's not to say that government has not done something. They have, but even those in government will be the first to tell you that there's still a lot more to be done, and which is why she has said, and then using my own words, let it wear a human face.
Yes,
there should be social, you know, programs to make it easier for us.
Very, very true. And what they have directly done there, especially Okonjo Iweala with the statement, is giving people like Reno Omokri and Daniel Bwala more than enough script to go home and cry to high heavens how that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing awesomely well, especially as made known by Okonjo Iweala. Doctor, let's talk about another matter. Boko Haram. U.S. okays a $346 million arms sale to Nigeria. Doctor, you know Donald Trump is more of a capitalist. He doesn't really care about what those weapons might be used for. He's rather more concerned about what comes to the United States of America. Should we be happy?
Come again, please. I didn't quite get
Yes, I said the United States okaying the sales of weapons to Nigeria worth $346 million. The question is, do you think the United States under President Donald Trump is more about money that comes into the United States, or do you think they truly would care about what those weapons will be used for?
I wouldn't worry about any of those, and the reason, frankly, is this. I mean, it's good that we can get it. Remember that there was a time we couldn't even buy arms from them, so it's fine. And that money is cheap feed to them. It's like nothing. $300 million is like nothing to the American government. So that's not a big deal. What would worry me is where those arms will end up.
Exactly.
Whether we are now, whether the arms we are bringing in will not be diverted to terrorists, as we have seen over the years. So that's the part I'm worried about. It's not whether the arms come in, it's where those arms will end up that bothers me. And we've heard soldiers say that if the government wants to end this thing in 3 days, they can do it. Those on the ground, they know the capability, they know the kind of fighting spirit they have, but their generals and those that are in authority are not giving them the arms, the encouragement, and all that is required to end this war. Maybe it is benefiting some people, and so the more protracted it is, the more beneficial it is to some people, perhaps.
Okay. If we are concerned about where these harms will be, like where these harms will be, will be given, could this increase militarization worsen human rights, concerns in conflict zones? Dr. Victor, are you there?
I'm not quite sure I got it.
Your question.
Okay. Yeah. The question is, could this increase militarization worsen human rights? The concerns in conflict zones.
Well, I'm an advocate for dialogue as a means of resolution of wars and conflicts. Okay. But if you're dealing with people who will not hear, who will not come to the table, then obviously the military option is the only option. We've been having arms up. The government, there's no way that the militants can outgun the Nigerian army. But it's the will that is the issue to me. It's not, and like I said earlier on, it's where these arms will end up. These things will come in, and I saw the other day a video where I saw these armored vehicles all looking clean, new, with guns and all that. And you ask yourself, and then all this money they're paying for kidnapping, the people are using it to refinance themselves and to buy more arms and become even stronger. These are the things that bother me.
Truly disturbing, Doctor. But let's, just before we call it a wrap on this particular segment, let's look at the Guardian newspaper for today. And straight to our talking point. Political parties boycott Rivers local government election. And that's on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Do you think what's going on in Rivers State is worth it? A military...
I know which political parties are boycotting. Is PDP boycotting? Is APC boycotting? Is ADC boycotting? I need to know which ones are boycotting.
Okay.
Because the ruling party in the state is still supposed to be PDP, although it is now under an APC administrator.
Yes.
So is it that so I need to get the facts before I even begin to make comments, because is it that the other parties, including PDP, are boycotting? If it is, then obviously the reasons are very obvious. It means therefore that whatever happens, the scripts have already been written, the administrator will just give it all to APC. But if it is not, and if it's going to PDP, then the question is, who are the candidates in the PDP? Are they Wike's candidates, or are they candidates that have truly been chosen? And why would anybody boycott? Do they think that Wike will remotely control the results? I mean, these are things to look at before we, make an informed judgment or commentary.
Very true. Any question on that? All right, Doctor, just before we set sail, my last question on the Guardian newspaper, this is a human angle story. Prison overcrowding, federal government task public philanthropist on inmates decongestion. How then is it the prerogative of individuals to ensure there's decongestion of our prisons run by federal government? Don't you think the federal government is rather setting aside or going back with their responsibilities?
No, it's not a problem. If government will pay rent for the prisoners, and I'm in real estate, I'll build prisons and let government be paying me. I have no problem. Bring the tenants, and provide the security. If that's the intention, it presents you opportunities for business.
For business,
they can build prisons for VIPs. They can build prisons for ordinary people, and then let government be worried about security. Me, I'll provide the real estate, and then, and then pay the money for their feeding and accommodation. As long as you don't owe me, the prisoners will feed well, I will take care of them, and you provide security.
So very, very true, because in the United States, it's private individuals that build prisons and maintain them, while the government pay to them.
But that kind of one, government should pay up front, not pay their rent in advance. 1 year rent in advance for the number of inmates. Somebody is spending 1 year, pay 1 year rent.
It's business.
Gracious goodness. I just hope to see that day. Doctor, I just hope that we would achieve a Nigeria where the prisons or correctional centers in Nigeria will look like that of the United States. In fact, you see the life they live, right? And Nigeria will love to, I love this lifestyle. Because they eat well, they dress well.
They don't even look what they
don't look troubled.
Yeah.
Like Finland, that's where you will see that kind of this thing.
Really?
The United States it's still a bit rough. It's not because even within the prisoners themselves are not easy human beings. It's terrible.
Wow.
So and when your freedom is curtailed, you don't know what freedom is until you lose it.
Exactly.
So a prison remains a prison. If what it was like during COVID when you couldn't move around, you couldn't go anywhere. When your freedom is curtailed, it does something to you, mentally and psychologically.
Very true. St. Lucia, they have little to no crime. So if you are incarcerated, sometimes they ask you to go to weekend. Just go and see your family and come back.
Are you serious?
Anytime you like. And we just hope that.
Are you looking forward to going there?
All right, so Doctor will be here to take us on our main conversation. That's when we return. David Mark calls for support as ADC eyes electoral breakthrough. Still Enterprise Friday. Please don't go anywhere.
I'll be right back.